start streaming. So technically, we are live now. I'm just gonna send the tweets out to make sure everything's good. Is people know about it?
Okay.
Okay, I'm just gonna have to hope for the best.
All right. Did you or did you not set up a room?
I did not.
Son of a gun.
Well, we're streaming, so shouldn't we say something along the lines of, "Hello, everyone. This is..."
There it is.
Exactly.
Why do we...
I mean, you can do that. It's just that I'm making sure all the tweets are sent out because I don't even know. Because I'll be real with you, there's probably a good chance you won't get any viewers on this thing right now, but I'm just trying to make sure that
Assuming you're on the phone. You're on the phone?
Hello, this is Nerd Ed,
Okay.
a.k.a. Double Stuffed Oreo.
Okay, so that's just not okay.
Nope, not even a little bit.
What? There's 2 white guys and 2 black guys. That's a double stuff.
Correction, there's 1 white guy here.
But Brendan is a part of the team.
He's not here. Whatever, fine. So, hey, folks.
You do not approve.
Okay,
Hello, everyone. It's Nerdent. We're here today to bring you a program about, well, the newest chapter of My Hero Academia. So send in your questions and maybe we'll just talk about it.
Right now I'm getting at 5 minutes. I don't know. I feel, okay, so quick thing. Should I change the Twitch from just chatting or should I put like Pokemon Colosseum? Because that's where I put game footage up. Or I'm going to put game footage up.
I think
We'll go on Colosseum while we chat or something like that. Something like that.
Alright, so I'm just going to change it from just chatting to that. Alright. I only have like 40 minutes of footage of this thing, so if we still keep going past that, which I suspect we might, well, that's when we'll get out Duel Links and, hold up, we got a comment. Shadow Dragon 411, who's your favorite Boku no Hero Academia character? Alright, so I'm gonna go first. Bakugo, I love King Explosion Murder. He's my man all day, every day.
Nux, your opinion?
Okay then, well that was a lot of tie. Maybe either Tail Guy or Todoroki.
Okay. I like Fat Cat.
Alright, now I got the footage up. Alright, folks, hope you enjoy the footage of Pokemon Colosseum while we discuss.
Fat Taxi's the man.
My favorite is Suyu. So you like Froppy. Yeah, a lot of people like Froppy.
A lot of people say Froppy's best girl, but I mean, I guess to each their own.
I mean, I'm kind of Team Ochiko, can't lie. Can't lie about that. Alright, so I don't really know. I'm hoping everything's going well here.
Holy shit, right? Lambs to a slaughter.
Alright, so I'm just gonna change the dashboard from just chatting to Pokemon Colosseum because I feel like we might get more attention that way. Maybe, I don't know. Stream info.
Well, I mean, so far our 23 followers have been responding quite nicely to Duel Links. How many viewers do you get when you do Colosseum?
Probably not a lot, if I'm being honest, but it's what it is. Whatever.
We're trying to revive Nerd End. We need our best stuff.
Alright, so since we got 2 viewers now. Do y'all just want to start? I'm okay with just starting right now.
Yep, I'm okay with it.
Nux, so you cool to start now?
Let me.
Okay, so Nux is, I don't know what's going on with him. Oh, he muted his mic.
I'm ready. Don't worry.
All right. Okay, so we're just gonna start now. All right. So we're pretty much gonna be talking about the latest chapter that kind of dropped. Boku no Hero Academia, or My Hero Academia. Fuck that. We're all English speakers here for the most part. My Hero Academia 276. So that dropped. Anybody have some shit to say about that? Cause damn, that's all I got.
Okay, do you want to get comments first, or do you want to go straight into the discussion?
I say we should just kind of talk about a brief overview of the chapter here, because we just got 1 viewer and only 1 person commented, so I figured let's just kind of give a brief overview of what happened in this chapter. And
yellow light.
And the brief overview of what happened in this chapter was...
So they're gonna send you a ticket if you don't get...
Heroes are gonna get fucked.
Yeah, pretty much.
Heroes are gonna get absolutely fucked. I don't know what the heck's gonna really happen. I don't know how the heroes are gonna be able to win this.
Okay, so I don't really know who's gonna win. What I will say is, brief overview, we now have Big Boy Shigaraki, and he's just like, well, I have all the powers of everyone, pretty much all in this one body, and you can't do anything to stop me. And the only
except the Eraserhead.
Okay, let's put him on the side right now. And the only people who can stop him is a prepubescent, 16-year-old boy, or maybe a pubescent 16-year-old boy.
I don't even know if they're 16.
I don't know. I'm just saying. Pretty much 16-year-old boy who doesn't even know how to use his powers yet. Plus Bakugo. But even Bakugo's last for maybe 5 minutes. Maybe.
Alright, let me just jump straight into what kind of pissed me off in this chapter. I'm gonna just jump straight into what pissed me off in this chapter. Shigaraki body pretty much was able to kind of manhandle Endeavor with no quirk. Excuse me? What? Wait, what? They should have disrespected him when Shigaraki was on top of Endeavor, and he's like, so wait, number 1, did All Might have his hand up this way, or was it with the other arm? I'm like, wait,
oh
what?
My lord!
I'm like, wait, what? And it's like, the doctor's just like, oh, well, his strength, we kind of try to make his strength somewhat comparable to All Might. And I'm like, what? I'm like, so you made the former number, now granted, they say it pales in comparison to All Might at its full power, but still, I'm like, you gave him that as natural strength? Excuse me?
I mean,
Hirikoshi, do you want Shigaraki to lose? Because I don't see him losing now.
I mean, that's the main fear right now, which is that there's going to be no way to beat him because they made a big bad guy who's unbeatable.
I think Hirikoshi was taking too many notes from Taite Kubo. But, but seriously though, I don't like how that fight was handled, because I really don't, because, I understand people are probably, because you even told me, they implanted some of Nomu's strength into...
No, he pretty much has a Nomu's body at this point. They didn't implant some of it, his body got recreated, and he practically has a Nomu's body.
Alright, but here's the problem. That still shouldn't be a problem for Endeavor when he has no quirk. And I know what you're gonna say, because you said it before. oh, when he fought that high-end Nomu, he had problems. Okay, why did he have problems against that high-end Nomu? Because if you look at it realistically, he one-shotted the high-end Nomu. The only reason why it came is because it had regeneration. Regeneration that should have been erased by Eraserhead.
No. That's because the regeneration isn't a quirk. The chapter kind of specifically tells you that the regeneration is a natural part of his body. It's not a quirk.
No, they never said it was a quirk. They said it's strength.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was given to him by the surgery. No, let's go back. You can go back to the chapter, but it pretty much says Nomus have the natural ability to regenerate. Practically, what it's saying is his body has the natural ability to regenerate because his body was still regenerating during that whole fight. Otherwise, really.
Sorry, my mic cut out halfway through my rant. What did you guys discuss after that?
No, we're still talking about how Shigaraki just pretty much manhandled Endeavor with just pure physical feats, and I'm just like, but Endeavor has managed to take down Nomus, not easily, but he has done it before, and to just have Shigaraki with no quirk be able to still kind of manhandle him, I'm sorry, I can't get down with that. I just can't get down with that. This man should be struggling, and it doesn't seem like he's struggling at all.
I don't understand the full nuance of the story because I just joined in on the My Hero bandwagon. But I can tell you right now that if you defeated the big bad in the first half of the story, or at least the first 45% of the story, you're going to be dealing with some bullshit. There's going to be some bad writing and writing each other out of corners and shit like that. That's what I think is starting to happen.
But I literally said to Nux the moment this arc was going down, I was like, this feels like this arc is like, it might be the end of this series. That's what I'm feeling like, because I don't see, first off, I don't see how realistically the kids can beat Shigaraki, because that's what they are. They're kids. I don't care. I really don't care what feats they have. At the end of the day, they are kids with no real experience to that extent. There's no way to convince me that they're going to be able to take down Shigaraki. Like, no. Like, come on now.
You're kind of in a rough spot. They're in a rough spot. Their main protagonist got the dog shit out of him by the Vegeta of the series, essentially, as what I've been told. So
pretty much. I mean, Bakugo was taking no prisoners.
He's not
in that
even
fight.
the Vegeta of the series. If we're talking about Shigaraki.
No, he's talking about Bakugo. He's talking about Bakugo.
Okay. Yeah,
Bakugo,
but I mean,
that's what I meant.
Yeah, that makes sense. But that's also because Deku has not had that much development. As in, like, he's gotten a lot, but he's also has not developed as fast as Bakugo does. And that's just because his battle skills are just not on the same level.
I don't know.
Can we just agree? Can we just agree that as far as the high school, like the first years, Bakugo has the greatest battle sense out of all of them? Can we all just agree on that real quick?
I mean,
can we all just agree?
I'm not arguing with you.
I'll agree.
Because, like, let's be real. Todoroki has no real fight sense. His entire fighting style is, I'm gonna throw my quirk at you. That's it.
Okay, that's literally because Todoroki hasn't decided to learn how to use his ability, because his ability is probably the most nuanced out of all of them.
No. Let me tell you what his ability is. His ability is angst. That's his whole stick. Angst. Angst.
I mean,
teenage
if
angst.
I'm gonna be honest, my thought on that is it actually makes absolutely no sense why Todoroki isn't as boss of a character as he should be. They pretty much destroyed his character with emotions that don't even make logical sense most of the time.
So in other words, he's kind of a hothead that doesn't use his ability because
not
he's
a hothead.
So.
The opposite of a hothead.
But I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Bakugo is the Vegeta, Todoroki is the Sasuke. Simple as that.
No,
simple as that.
He's not even. It's close, but not even right. Because Sasuke still acted. I mean, stupidly, but he still acted. Todoroki's just like, I think I'm just gonna stand here because I'm sitting in my feels. Literally, I'm sitting in my feels.
Sasuke didn't get a fair shake. Leave him alone.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Sasuke was still an a-hole, but
no, I need to kill Itachi. No, I need to destroy the Leaf Village. No, I need to save the ninja world. What?
No, I need to become Hokage.
All right, but back to My Hero though, because I honestly feel like I'm a little, because here's the thing, it kind of turned into, because have y'all noticed? Well, maybe not have it because you haven't read it fully, but Nux, have you noticed that before they were kind of hyping up that those three would kind of be the ones that kind of like lead the next generation, but now it's starting to turn less into those three and just the Bakugo and Deku show. Have you noticed that?
Well, it started turning into that a long time ago. Todoroki's not even one of the main characters anymore.
Like he was a contender during the during that tournament arc, and the moment that tournament arc kind of ended, that's when it just went, okay, let's focus on Deku and Bakugo all over again.
Because they destroyed his whole character. They literally did this whole build-up. He's like, I'm going to use my fire side, and then after that, he's not a character anymore.
Pretty much.
Now I remember what I was talking about. What I wanted to reference last night was Mirio. Sorry about that. Mirio is the one I was talking about. Mirio Togata, the top 3 in the school.
Oh, yeah, my boy! They did him dirty. Oh, they still did him dirty. To this day, I'm still mad what they did to him. They did him dirty. They did him dirty. They did him. Because I can tell you right now, if Mirio was in there, maybe I believe they have a chance of beating Shigaraki. Maybe.
I'm sorry, I still don't think they have a chance, but we can continue.
I said maybe. It's only because Mirio, 3rd year in UA, he took out the entirety of class 1A in like 5 to 10 seconds. 5 to 10 seconds.
Yeah,
and it's
but all of them are
Quirk is OP.
I know, but I still have to tell you, all of them are still kids.
Okay. Then let me one up that. This man took on gangsters and was whooping their ass. He took on Yakuzas, was whooping their ass. He lost his powers and was still whooping their ass. No, really? Justice for Mirio, straight up. Justice for Mirio, bring him back.
I'll give you that, but then I still can't say he could go up against Shigaraki. Especially because...
If his quirk is erased, yes. Yes, he can.
Well, yeah, but if he has his quirk, even if he didn't have all the other quirks, if he just had his Annihilation quirk once it upgraded, he still wouldn't be able to do anything. I'll be honest with you. That's like the one ability...
We don't know if permeation is immune to decay, though.
It's not going to be immune. It wouldn't be immune because he would still be within matter. It doesn't matter. This character, Shigaraki's ability is literally to turn matter into nothingness.
But here's the thing, though. Permeation, he phases through matter to the point where he can't even see anymore. He just sees darkness. So
yeah, but what he's doing is phasing through matter, and what that does means that he is still made out of matter. It's just that he moves his matter or his molecules in a way that it goes in between other matter. That's why. But it still doesn't change the fact that he can be eradicated, like turned into dust. Like you made a character that has the ability of annihilation.
There's literally no limitation on his ability.
Well, not anymore. There was before. He had to touch it, but now it's like he can probably just touch air and do it.
Oh, that's pretty much it. Yeah, he needed all 5 fingers, but now it's gotten to the point where it got to. And here's the thing, though. Now they're making Shigaraki like he's this great battle genius now, and I'm like, wait, what? Like he
didn't know how to fight before that much. I don't think he knew how to fight that much, but he was trained by all. The thing is, though, we all have to really realize that he was trained by All For One.
Okay, all right, but here's my counterpoint to that. He still sucked. Even when he still sucked.
I completely understand what you're saying, but even then, I understand, but that to me is just bad writing right there, because he should have been way better than what he was if he was actually trained by All For One, because he would have been trained by a person who has so many quirks
See, that's not even what I'm talking about. That's not even what I'm talking about. The quirk thing at that point in the story, we didn't even know if All for One even said that he couldn't even transfer his quirks. Right now, this surgery coming up is just out of nowhere. Technically not if you count the movies, but we're not touching that right now because I have my own discussion about the movies.
Well, they also have a whole manga that kind of shows you. There's like a one-chapter, one-shot manga that shows the in-between of the movie, and then Shigaraki's whole thing of where he gets implanted with all this stuff. Because it was coming, it's just they actually made the movies canon to a degree.
But my problem is that I'm not saying Shigaraki should be as powerful physically. He should have been a manipulative bastard from the beginning. If he was really trained by All for One, because the thing is, All for One is also smart. He's also smart. He's a manipulator. He knows what he's doing. He knows what to say. Shigaraki didn't show any of that till like now. And I'm just
All for
where
One
did
was
this
like
come
hundreds
from?
of years old. He was like a few hundred years old or some bullshit.
Exactly. And you're telling me that he couldn't have transferred that kind of knowledge towards Shigaraki? Because, again, he sucked in the beginning. He sucked.
If I'm going to be honest, I think it had something to do with the fact that he still... I think, for some reason... is it Murata? The artist? I think Hirokoshi seems to focus, for some reason, on the character's inability to get over mental traumas, which stops them from unlocking their hidden potential. That seems to be something that's a trend.
Yeah, because then we had because we had Shigaraki's whole flashback which was interesting, I won't lie. His entire flashback was very interesting. I just didn't like how, when he was about to turn into All for One, how his family tried to stop him in that whole sequence. And I'm just so like,
fuck off.
Y'all led him to this. Like, y'all led him to this madness. Like, none of y'all stood up for Shigaraki when he was getting beat by his dad for wanting to be a hero. None of y'all said nothing. And by the time y'all wanted to say some shit, it was too late, and all y'all just got obliterated. Like, nah. And now when he's in the dream sequence, they all want to touch him symbolically for, like, his original costume is with all the hands. They want to stop him from becoming All for One. I'm like, it's too little too late. Too little too late. Y'all lost.
I mean, the writing I feel like has taken a bit of a dive, but unless they're planning something big, which they could be, the writing has taken a very big dive.
Well, it's the sense that I think it's gotten a little rust.
What do you imply with that?
I mean, yeah, because if you wouldn't know this, Havoc, but like in the latest movie, the second movie, Heroes Rising, I believe it's called. Hirokoshi actually stated that the ideas he had in that movie was what he planned for the ending of the series. So, and honestly, I'm kind of happy he put it out as a movie form because there's a certain thing that happened in that movie, which I don't know if I should say it or not. It's a kind of a massive spoiler, but the movie's been out for a while. All right, spoiler alert for Heroes Rising, but Deku kind of gave Bakugo one for all for a brief moment to help take down the main villain of that movie. Spoilers! I hated that part. I absolutely hated that part. I bitched and moaned to Nux about it after I saw that movie. I really didn't like that part. I thought that was stupid. I thought that was really
series.
It was really stupid.
I think I know what's happening. The editors are being dicks. Straight up. They just want to milk this series. They don't want a good series. They just want their money and to sell their toys.
I partly want to agree with you. Pretty much exactly like what's happening because people like Bakugo more, so they make Bakugo the main character.
Well, yeah, because here's the thing. Nobody liked Bakugo in the beginning, and I understand. But here's the thing: me as a person who's like read a lot of stories, and Nux, you could probably attest to this with your experience too. As people who have read a lot of stories, We knew how Bakugo's arc was gonna go. It was Vegeta all over again. We saw this shit coming. Everyone's not gonna like him in the beginning, but he's gonna have a massive character turn, and now everyone's gonna love him. That's exactly what happened with Bakugo. That's why he's been voted #1 3 times in a row. He's been the #1 most popular character in that series 3 times in a row, and Deku, who, believe it or not, is supposed to be the main character, has been #2. Let's stop and think about that for a second. Let's stop and really think about that. The main character is second fiddle to his rival as the most popular character. Excuse me?
Well, I mean, it was about time they did do something like that. But at the same time, this was just for the purpose of selling toys. I chalk up changes in anime. I chalk up those random changes to toy sales. That's what I think it is. Just tell me if I'm wrong, but it's toy sales. They only give a fuck about their toys and their video games. The anime is just a way to promote that shit.
Well, I can't fully disagree with you. I can't fully disagree with you because once a series becomes super popular, that's pretty much what happens.
To be honest, the main reason why Boku no Hero came out around the time Naruto ended. And now I'm not going to say it's trying to be Naruto.
I'm sorry.
It's not. It's not. But I can't say it's not trying to be. It's trying to be Naruto because it's not. It never will be. But it's gotten to the point where this is the next cash cow. Because I guarantee you, the same thing's going to happen. Once One Piece ends, there's going to be series that are going to be trying to fill that void. It's the same thing over and over again. So now that Boku no Hero, because let's be real, Boruto is not selling like Naruto did. It's taken a dive. It has taken a dive.
Horseshit. Boruto is a bad series.
I won't call it horseshit. I would just call it nostalgia stuff.
It's nostalgia bait.
Look, man,
what it is.
Dragon Ball Super was nostalgia bait, but
nah, Boruto is nostalgia bait. It really is because it just.
Well, it's not good at it.
Okay, I'll give you that.
It isn't. It really isn't. It really isn't.
I'll be honest, I like it because I just like watching it casually. Or correction, I like it because I read the manga. I watch the anime for a little bit, but I like the manga. But besides that, I don't know what it holds. What value?
I forgot his name, but can you explain to me how the son of the 3rd Hokage is going to be the 9th or 10th or the 8th Hokage? Does that make any sense to you? I forgot his name, but there's no way he should be freaking Hokage.
No.
Amaru?
Yeah, Konohamaru.
That's the one, Konohamaru. He's like rumored to be in line. Like it's supposed to be Sasuke's kid is supposed to be the 9th. He's supposed to be the 8th.
I don't know where you heard that from, because they don't confirm that in the manga. So,
I mean, the reason I don't know if I don't know if the order is confirmed, but it would make sense because Konohamaru said when he first met Naruto when they were kids that he wanted to become Hokage. And to be honest. The moment Konohamaru actually became like a genin and kept rising up in ranks, he's been a Naruto fanboy. He's been using Shadow Clone, he's been using the sexy jutsu, he even knows the Rasengan. So the guy's literally just trying to be a wannabe Naruto. So it would make sense that he becomes the 8th Hokage. I don't know about Sada. I don't really care about her character much, at all.
She's expressed the desire to become Hokage. Again, that's
I feel like
bullshit.
everyone does at one point in time. If I'm going to be completely honest, in Naruto.
Honestly, I'm just the only thing in Boruto I will give credit to, and we're going to go back to My Hero after this. But the only credit I will give to Boruto in this is that they didn't make Boruto a carbon copy of his dad. They didn't make him try to be like, I want to be the next. Yeah, he wasn't like, I'm going to be the next Hokage. No, he just said to Hokage, to heck with that. I don't want to have anything to do with that. So I'll give them credit there. I'll give them credit to that. But back to My Hero. To My Hero. No, you said you had some couple of discussion points you wanted to talk about this chapter. Go ahead.
Okay, so my first interesting. My first discussion point. Okay, so yeah, my first discussion point is I wanted to talk about just Shigaraki's ability, just his ability. Let's like fully define what his limits are.
He doesn't
His
have limits.
What are his limits? Because it's really hard to determine. I'm just talking about for his destruction quirk. It's really hard to determine what the limit for that quirk itself is right now.
There's a range. There's one thing. Okay, here's the thing. I can only speculate based on before he transformed, before he turned into the new All for One. And before he turned into new All for One, yes, his decay powers did improve, but there was definitely a set range. There was definitely a set range to it, and there was still a function of how it worked. Because if you remember, when he fought the stress guy was smack dab in the middle of that decay outburst.
And it didn't
but he
destroy
managed
him.
to survive.
He only got rid of his hand, I think, or his arm.
His legs. He got rid of. He had to cut off his legs because the decay was spreading there, but he managed to survive. So what that told me is that while it got a massive boost, it still had a range, and there was still a way to avoid it. Now, I don't know, because apparently now he has more control over it to the point that he's able to spare some of the high-end Nomus. And so it's really hard to define now. It's really hard to define. Plus, I'm still pissed about the fact that his physical strength can now overpower Endeavor without a quirk. That still got me mad.
See, I don't fully understand that. I mean, it's hard for me to make anything. It's hard for me to say anything against that because I understand how he could knock down Endeavor, but I mean, he didn't beat Endeavor, and Endeavor still took his arm. It's just that Shigaraki didn't care because he's like, I'm just gonna grow this arm right back.
More or less.
I don't think that should have happened. That should not have happened. It's not. Again, I don't understand the nuances of the story, but if Endeavor was the number 2 behind All Might, and you know what I mean, and he held that position firmly, you really shouldn't be able to get beaten by somebody because he's the same age as Deku, right, Shigaraki?
No, he's older.
He's slightly. Okay. He's like maybe 3 years older, 3 or 4.
Okay, well, I don't know. To me, the way they've written it, like he should not be able to. You should be putting somebody like Hawks, like those top tier heroes. They should be like Yonko. They shouldn't be touchable. But they kind of broke that rule a few times. They've not broken the rule. They just set different rules. But you shouldn't be able to like touch those characters. They don't really have top tier characters that are untouchable, do they?
Well, they only had All Might. That was about it.
Oh, and All for One. Those two. That's pretty much it. They can only take down.
But they just made another All for One, which is the problem.
Now they needed the All Might.
When you dispatch the top tier, like that, you kind of ruin the baseline of the series. So you lose perspective on the power scaling. So that's what's happening right now.
Well, yeah,
there's
that's
nothing
because
to draw a baseline.
They didn't give him a 1+1. They gave him a. They gave him a exponential 50. Growth. They gave him a huge exponential growth.
Basically, to compare this would be basically what's happening to Shigaraki right now is what would have happened to Deku if he just unlocked all the powers for One for All. That's pretty much it's the same equivalent.
Exactly
it's the same equivalent.
It's the same equivalent. I'll give you that. That's practically what it is.
Because I'm not gonna lie, if Deku had control over all his powers right now, this wouldn't be as big of an issue as we think it is. It really wouldn't be.
I'm going to use the restroom.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure right now if Deku, even anybody knows if Deku actually, because Deku would be stronger than All Might at his peak if he recovered or if he received 100% of the strength plus the additional quirks. Because if I'm not mistaken, All Might didn't have access to those extra quirks that Deku will have.
Deku's the first one ever in the entire successor line to have access to that. Nobody knows why. Nobody knows why, but that's just how it is.
If Deku got all those powers right now, he would slap the dog shit out of this guy, Shigaraki.
Well, okay. wouldn't be a wash. I want to make that very clear. It would not be a wash. Deku would still have to work for that fight. Because the thing I've said before is that the powers that Deku has, they're not top tier powers. They're whatever they could have scrounged up left for the power, for the one for all power. They're literally table scraps. So the quirks he has, the quirks that he has at his disposal, they're hinted to not be as good as Shigaraki's. They're not some freaking Kamehameha or explosion or like elemental manipulation or not. No, it's just like the other power we know is that he can fly. He'll be able to fly eventually. That's it.
Well, again, they're making Deku into Superman, essentially. I don't really know what they're trying to do with Shigaraki. I think they're just trying to make some omnipotent fucking, hogwash horse shit.
Nah, Shigaraki is like Superman. Deku is just like fake Superman.
Right now, yes.
Wait, no. That's not fair. You can't do that to the main character.
What they did.
Exactly.
Not that you can't. They actually did.
They did just that.
They made a better Bizarro Superman. That's practically what happened.
Exactly.
These people are breaking all of the shonen rules. Now I can see why people kind of like this series.
Well, yeah, because Deku isn't stupid. He's actually smart. If this was a traditional shonen, Bakugo would be the main character because he's a traditional shonen character.
Yeah.
Deku is not. Deku is the antithesis.
Angry, relatively stupid one who's not actually completely stupid.
Deku's pretty much like Deku's kind of a foil to Bakugo.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. He's the nerd, he's quiet, he's meek, he's intelligent, but he's not really confident, he's sometimes unsure of himself. That's Deku to a T.
Okay, so this is this is kind
basically
of...
Deku's Peter Parker. Deku's Peter Parker. That's literally what he is.
I'm starting to understand now.
So, all right. All right, are you done with your talking point? Because I have a question that we could probably talk about here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't know about Havoc, but that's why we've been following the series for day one, and we know how pretty much all the powers work, pretty much. So what I have a question for this discussion is, how is Shigaraki going to take all for one or one for all? How is Shigaraki going to take it? I'm really curious. I'm really curious about that. How is he going to take that?
He's just gonna eat it, and he's gonna be like nom nom nom, and that's about it. he's gonna be nom nom nom.
Like, because everybody's just like, oh my god, he's about to go after Deku's power. Like, he's going to be a monster if he takes it. But I'm just the one guy that's like, okay, but hold on. We've established in the previous chapters that he can't take it unless Deku rather wants to give it to him. So, like, huh? So how is Shigaraki going to get it? I need to know. Like, I need to know. Because I would honestly hope that Deku would never give him the power no matter what, even if he threatened to kill all of his loved ones. I would hope that Deku has that kind of resolve. I would sincerely hope. But still.
I don't think so. I mean, we're talking, because Deku is going up, if we're talking about a mental game, he's going up against someone who literally had the whole mental trauma. Like, he had a better hero backstory than Deku did.
That got subverted. Oh my god. I mean, Deku's whole thing was he wanted to be a hero. That's it. And then he felt the need to save an ex-bully of his, and then All Might pretty much took pity on him. There it is. That's the whole origin. That's the whole origin. Look at Shigaraki. Shigaraki actually went through pain. He went through turmoil. He accidentally killed his entire family because his quirk was activated due to stress. He was left for dead. All for One literally picked him off the street, tried to take care of him, help him to teach his craft, to control his powers, and all that kind of stuff like that. Deku is just an ascended fanboy. That's it, actually. He's an ascended fanboy. That's his whole gimmick. That's his whole trope.
Yeah, this series, I can tell that this writer was trying to break rules. He was trying to change the genre.
Wait, it was revolutionary, and it still is.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. We might be shit talking about.
What?
Okay, so we might be shit talking about Deku. Okay. So we might be shit talking about Deku right now, but please believe, Deku is not a bad character. He's not. He's just.
Right, but yeah.
I'm about to meet this guy.
Yeah, you should probably.
I'm pouring some water that doesn't. Fuck.
Oh my god! I can't. Alright.
He's doing this on stream, folks. He's doing this on stream.
What am I doing? Give me a second.
Let me try this again.
It's like when my friend decided he was going to take a shower during our Zoom meeting.
Alright, so as I was trying to say, Deku, we might be shitting on Deku, but he's not a bad character. It's just that compared to his opposition, he's not that good yet. He has some stuff going for him, but honestly, Deku's just not ready for this current threat. Deku's just not ready for it. That's just the bottom line. He's just not ready for it.
They wrote his evolution too slow. That's the problem. They wrote it too slow.
Well, here's the problem with that. I don't mind that they wrote his evolution to be slow because it makes more sense. Because I'm not going to lie, if they wrote it in the sense that he got all of his powers right off of that with no work involved, I would have been ticked off, and many other people would be ticked off as well. So the slow route was literally the only option they had. It's just that now it seems like everything else doesn't want to go slowly as well. Everything else want to go at a fast pace, and that's the part where it suffers, in my opinion. That's what doesn't make sense.
You got to wonder how that happened.
I blame the movie, honestly, Hero Rising. A part of me wants to blame the movie because, like I said, this movie seems very, very. This current arc seems very similar to what happened in the movie. It seems very similar. Bakugo and Deku are proud to go after a guy that has multiple quirks and is trying to start a new world order. That's literally what happened in the movie.
Yeah, pretty much. Except I didn't watch the movie because it's still not out online in good quality. But yeah, that's probably exactly the plot of the movie.
So, the thing is, again, this isn't a bad series. This isn't me shitting on it. It's just that I'm questioning it. I'm questioning the decisions being taken, and I'm questioning the writing. Because the thing is, and here's the thing. Here's the biggest thing here. We're talking about what they're doing now with Shigaraki, but we still haven't even addressed the biggest elephant in the room. Giganto Makio
is still not there yet.
On the way. He's on the way. He's coming. He's coming. And the moment he's there, I don't care what y'all want to say. Their heroes are not winning. They're not going to be able to take out Giganto Makio and Shigaraki. It's not happening. Even Gran Torino with backup couldn't do shit to Giganto Makio. He couldn't do a damn thing.
Well, Gran Torino is soft in comparison to Gigantomachia. He's like hitting him with a marshmallow, like literally hitting him with a marshmallow.
I need you guys to explain to me what I know what's happening, but
Gigantomachia is practically Hulk, and so Shigaraki has a Hulk on the back. He has a Hulk in the back.
Pretty much.
But he's got three big bads. They got two others. They got two other henchmen there that are almost as strong, right? There's three total, including Shigaraki.
One died. Twice died. RIP. Hawks is MVP because he knew immediately Twice had to die. He knew immediately Twice has to go.
Yeah, you're still
if Twice
survived.
Oh, well, but here's the good news next. Remember that time I said Twice and Toga might team up? We don't have to think about that now.
Because now you still got Toga who can still copy people's abilities. And she's still evolving. She's still evolving.
We need an explanation on that stat.
No, what we need is the main character's abilities to actually develop and evolve, because they did not get as much development as the villains.
That's exactly it. Because I'm not gonna lie, when Bakugo and Todoroki and Deku were all training with Endeavor, I looked at that and I said, "That's cute." Compared to what Shigaraki just did. I'm like, oh, that is cute.
Shigaraki's getting the moderate treatment. I can see it now.
He's literally there. To put all you retro anime fans in perspective, I'm gonna tell you what's going on right now in My Hero Academia. Right now, in these chapters, Shigaraki is basically going Master Asia on all the heroes. He's literally going Master Asia on all of them. Shout out to anyone who gets that reference. Oh my gosh.
I think he's kind of getting the moderate treatment.
I know that reference.
Master Asia, what is that? Excel Saga or some shit?
Gundam reference, yeah. Basically, to put it simply, Master Asia is
that was a nice story.
He's a Gundam pilot, but he basically can destroy and fight off Gundams without being in a Gundam. So he's just basically a small person, and he's just destroying Gundams left and right because he can.
His kung fu. It's literally just his kung fu.
Yeah,
that's fair. That's unreasonable.
Exactly. That's what Shigaraki is doing. He's going Master Asia on all of them. That's literally what's gonna happen. Oh, by the way, can we talk about that dude that, what's his name, Manuel, that's pretty much just Eraserhead's eye drops? Can we talk about that for a second?
Oh, that was a whole nother point. That was a whole nother topic point. He was just the convenient eye drops that he needed at the right moment.
Yeah, like this dude is literally having an epic stare down. Like he's having the most epic staring contest of his life. Now, granted, I don't mean to make fun of Eraserhead because believe it or not, he's doing a service, because without Eraserhead, they'd all be dead. That's facts. Without Eraserhead, they would all be dead.
So maybe that's the reason why they wrote the surgery? Maybe that's the reason why they wrote the surgery into the story.
Well, yes, but at the same time, it's still stupid in my opinion, because, if Shigaraki's quirk is erased, without that super strength bullshit, he should be pwned! He should be pwned already! Like, I would even say Endeavor alone could kill Shigaraki without his quirk.
I would probably... Well, also, you gotta remember that this dude's got quirk search now. He has quirk search, and he's inherited just about all for one's quirks. So he's got something in there to deal with that shit more than likely.
If he did, he would have been still following Deku or not, which means the fact that it's been, and all the quirks have been erased. So Shigaraki is just relying on his natural strength right now, quote unquote. So he can't even find.
Didn't Shigaraki knock out their communication? He knocked out their communications with like an EMP that he used by fusing two quirks. All for one did not have the power to fuse quirks.
Actually, no, I'm confused. No, I'm confused. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm actually confused right now because he woke up the Nomus, and in order for him to do so, he would have had to use a quirk ability. Even if he pre-programmed them beforehand, right now he shouldn't be able to control them because right now they're like babies.
He can control them with his voice. Because first off, alright, follow me. In the latest chapter, the doctor literally explains that, these things will listen to your command. They pretty much explained how Shigaraki did it. And in the previous chapter, I think 2 chapters, or the last chapter, when he was fighting Endeavor, Shigaraki just said, "Oh, your communications are annoying. Let's stop that." So they literally showed him knocking off their communications with some EMP bomb. So
he mixed the air pressure quirk with some sort of electro quirk. I think I forgot what it was, but he ended up fusing quirks. How do you break a character that much?
All for One. And to answer, All for One did do that. He did in the final clash.
Oh, okay, I apologize.
Yeah, in the final clash between All Might and him, he pretty much fused a whole bunch of quirks to try and take down All Might. Yep, he fused a whole bunch of quirks in one hand to try to take down All Might in their final clash. How All Might still won that is wow. Honestly, it was nothing but wow.
But was All for One able? Did he have the ability to fuse them tactically to adapt to a situation?
Yes. He was significantly better technically than All Might in almost every single way, besides the fact that All Might had infinite
powers.
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much.
If he didn't have that, he would literally be going up against a mutant that literally has the ability not only to use each individual ability, but to fuse them together to make better abilities. Like more than 3 at the same time, actually.
To be honest,
I can't find a comparison.
To be honest, I'm kind of waiting for some warping shit. Because remember when All Might was fighting All for One, and like All for One just used warping, and he warped Gran Torino in the way of All Might's punch. I'm waiting for Shigaraki to do that bullshit. I'm waiting for him to do that bullshit.
I think Shigaraki shouldn't be able to do anything like that because he doesn't know how to use any of his abilities yet.
So they've made this fucker into a Franklin Richards. Okay.
Yes, actually, yes. All he needs to make is his own universe. Oh my gosh.
Okay, I gotta be honest. That's fucking stupid.
It is.
Why did he ruin a good story? Why?
Maybe there just wasn't enough time.
I mean,
that's only all I can think about.
Because this sounds like it's a great story, and I really want to get into the meat and potatoes of it. But if this is how it ends, I don't know if I want to read it anymore.
We just don't know where it's going at the moment, and that's why we're even having this.
That's the concern that I have. I don't know where it's going, and don't get me wrong. I'm not going to be one of those people that sends hate mail to Hirokoshi however the series ends. However he wants to end the series is entirely up to him. He has that freedom. But at the same damn time, I have to question from a writer's perspective if what he's really doing really is the best for the story. Because I spoke to Lex about this a while back, because there was a whole scandal where Hirokoshi had named the doctor a certain, I think, racial slur that was offensive to the Chinese people. I don't know the whole details. I'm not even going to argue whether or not he did was justified or whatnot. The point is, he already paid for it and he made a public apology. So as far as I'm concerned, that's already squared with. But he did say that he was very depressed because of that. So I'm wondering if his depression from then is still affecting him now.
Okay.
To the point where things seem to be a little bit rushed.
Then can you explain to me how Watsuki can still be writing Kenshin after he got caught, with kiddie porn? I think that argument's a little interesting to say the least. I'm only bringing that in because
here's the difference.
Different mentality, and also one, he was just getting caught with kiddie porn. The other, he was going up against the Chinese army, and I'm not talking about the physical Chinese army. He was going up against the Chinese people, the internet version.
That and Hirokoshi, he lost the Chinese market because of that move. He lost the Chinese market. That's money.
That's not even a small amount of money. That's
exactly.
Okay.
I would have been depressed too. If I was him, because that's a huge part of money. Like, I remember I had my roommate. He was a Chinese exchange student. Like, he loved My Hero Academia too. They had the website where he would always buy chapters on the Chinese sites and be reading them. Now that shit's gone. Hirokoshi lost that. Now granted, some of the people in China will still find ways to watch it illegally, but that's still money being lost.
Yeah,
you might lose your fans, but you will lose.
Yeah, he's not getting the money from that anymore.
Exactly. So,
cancel culture at its finest.
I mean, I understand, though, only because he really did mess up on that one. He really did mess up on that one. I mean, the name was ingenious, but he did mess up. And China doesn't do, for one thing, people think that China is like every other country. It's not. They don't do I look at each individual problem. No, what they do is, if there's cancer on your hand, then they're not going to cut off the one finger. They're just going to cut off the whole hand.
Pretty much.
Fuck that, the arm.
Maybe. I don't know. But that it's just like, it's just the umbrella or one cut, and that's it. You messed up? Well, you messed up. We gave you warnings, but you messed up? Oh well. That was just because he touched on that one thing that was really like not a good thing to touch upon, even if it was a joke or ingenious.
Well, what did he admit it in an interview?
No, like
people called him out on it. He wrote it in a chapter, and people called him out on it.
Oh, okay.
Like he got
that's just not understanding your. That's just not understanding your audience. Yeah, he fucked up.
Yeah, that's a royal fuck up he did.
I mean, I'm sure there are other Japanese manga artists that do it. It's just that this is a very high-profile manga that's in multiple countries.
Well, it was.
Yeah, it was. Still is.
I mean, that's like Toriyama deciding to name a new character Little Sambo. Like, that's just not understanding your audience.
Pretty much, I guess. Yeah.
That's not good.
So, if you didn't know what it was, I don't want to like spark hate or anything, but he named a character, or the doctor within My Hero Academia who does experiments on people, a name that is what they called like when the Japanese kind of like, you know, did their whole incursion on China and the rape of Nanjing and all those places, of those horrible atrocities. Well, he named the doctor after like what they would call the Chinese people as like black.
No, he did that.
Yeah, and understandably that ruffled a lot of feathers.
Well, you can't say that, especially
exactly.
after the rape of Nanjing. The Japanese have no right to make public racial fucking comments after all the shit
It's
that they
because
pulled
education-wise, they don't take it serious. It's not really taught like that in school there.
I know that.
It's like in America, no one really teaches you fully about what happens to the Native Americans or the Japanese internment camps or anything. We just know it was a thing, but it doesn't have any
Nobody
weight
taught us about the smallpox blankets.
Yeah, we didn't. Yeah, no one did.
There was a lot. There was a lot of, but that's kind of, yeah, you're right. He kind of deserves what he got, and if that's the reason why the series has gone to hell, oh man, that's not good. Thank you for that update.
I really hope. I'm really hoping that this isn't due to his depression, because I was really hoping he's not trying to like fast forward this series to ending just to get it over with. Because the thing people don't really know about Horikoshi is Horikoshi had several series. Solid thing about all of them is that they all got canceled. None of them were really good enough to continue serialization. They all got canceled. And I'm just like, what?
Who is he writing for? Shonen Jump?
Yes.
Yeah, they don't give a damn about their writers. I mean, look at what they did to Taite Kubo. They ruined the arc of all time, Taite Kubo, with the Aizen arc, that beginning, the Soul Society
first arc,
there was
up until they
no
defeat
better.
Aizen, was beautiful.
Yeah, but that's no. Yeah, okay, finish. I agree with you, but it wasn't his fault. It was Shonen Jump's fault.
Oh, you mean how they milked it further after that?
Yes.
I mean, it's interesting though, because Bleach had the similar problem with. Now they have an unbeatable villain now, and there's still no logical way for them to beat him. Like, all they have is Eraserhead erasing his quirks. That's all I got. That's all I got. And now you're saying he has this Herculean strength, so I'm just like, okay.
What Bleach did was different and worse. What Bleach did was worse. But
they pretty much soft reset the whole series inside the whole series.
You're talking about
after they no Bleach after they defeated
I'm just saying, like they what they did to that series was different because he wrote a good villain and then he accidentally wrote something that was unbeatable, and then in the last arc in the manga, this guy got there, and the point that Ameki had a chance against any of that was Toriyama, because Toriyama is just a dog shit writer.
Yeah, Toriyama. Look, I've said this for years. Dragon Ball is action porn. That's all it is. It's not. It was never made to have a deep and complex story. It was never made with that intention. It was just
okay, everyone. So now
porn.
what I'm gonna do is shameless plug. Everyone, just start reading Hunter x Hunter.
See,
there you go.
I endorse that. I endorse that.
This man, do you hunt?
But hold on though, because the thing is, every manga has its problems, and Hunter x Hunter is that the Hunter just won't get up off his ass to finish it.
It's Dragon Age and League. That's the fucking problem. Is Dragon Age and League. You know what I'm saying, right?
It's like exactly. It's like no really good manga series can ever catch a break sometimes. Like freaking even Berserk. Well, I would argue the only one that's still able to keep up some consistency is One Piece. And even One Piece had to rush a couple chapters. I've noticed it. And I've been following that shit for years. Even One Piece had to fast track.
That is probably the best shonen manga ever written, for the fact that it's been able to maintain that level of world building for the last 20 years.
Yeah, but my One Piece is really good. I don't fully understand it, but it's still really good.
Yeah, but
just the fact that he's been able to build such. Well, it's because he's built he's built a fucking society and a world.
It's too long.
I mean, that's the main reason.
It's too
long. But more than that, it's just like there's just so many characters. I think that's one of the main.
But see, here's the thing. It pisses me off because whenever One Piece is on a hype train, that's when everybody wants to start catching up with it, and that's when they complain about it.
Oh yeah, that's
guys, stop me if you heard this one before. Stop me if you heard this one before. Insert anime, specifically insert shonen anime, gets some love recently and is on a hype train. Not everybody wants to watch it just to see what the hype is, but when they get to it, they don't understand what's going on. I'm just like, have you been reading it from the beginning? Do you know all the characters? Like, yeah, but it's just too long. I like, go back. Like, if you want to understand why we, the fans, are loving this moment, you have to follow the journey. You have to go the same journey that we did. There are no especially with One Piece, there is no shortcuts. You have to follow the same journey that we did to get to the gold. You gotta see all the character moments. You gotta see all them characters. You gotta go through all that fucking book. I can guarantee and bet cash money that people of One Piece will never understand that one chapter when Luffy met Sabo. Nobody will ever understand. Only manga readers will understand that chapter. When we all saw that, because I literally saw that chapter and I was crying because I knew exactly what Luffy saw when he was in that Colosseum. As a side tangent though. So that's why I'm just like, all you people that just come up here and like, oh, but it's too long. No. nah, bitch. Go back and read. And if you ain't gonna want to do that, find a different series. You need to go through the same journey we did to understand the beauty of some of these series. Not just One Piece, but just some of these manga in general. You can't just come up when it's getting hot. Sorry, I was on a tangent. My apologies. What were we talking about?
I understand you were caught up in your feels to a degree, because people do BS when it comes to One Piece, and I agree with that. They complain about something a problem that they caused themselves.
Pretty much.
Also, I recommend Kingdom. You might have never read it, but it's also good.
I've not read that one either.
They wrote. I mean, they. Did a pretty good job with Seven Deadly Sins. You know, that was well written.
I don't know where it is
criminal.
now.
What the fuck? What they did to Escanor was criminal. How dare they get to the Lion Sitter pride?
Yeah, but you gotta understand that they knew that story was at the end of its life cycle, and they knew that if they the way they wrote it, that if they went for another arc, they would have destroyed their fan.
But
people would have said, "Fuck that shit." They sell no more toys after that.
Exactly what happened. It took too long for it to end. It took too long. It should have ended way before. You know how many epilogues?
They were chaos. Well, if they actually managed to do an arc against the High Priestess or whatever, the Goddess Clan, like that might have been kind of interesting. But at the same time, when your top dude was pretty much Escanor, I don't think so. Like you can't like the Supreme Deity. I don't think it would have been too good. But you know what I'm talking about, like Meryl or whatever his name is.
Nah, I get you.
Like that was kind of like, I hate to say it, like the Ten Commandments would. I'm pretty sure like the Estarossa and the other two, because there was like 3 really good ones, would have washed that bitch.
Pretty much.
But at the same time, Escanor did wash Estarossa.
Oh yes, he did. Oh, absolutely. He's like, my attacks have no effect. Who decided
Isn't
that?
Isn't it kind of silly that
I mean, it's funny, but it's epic as hell.
Because Estarossa was. Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh well, fuck it. Or did you guys set up a duel room? I thought there was an update in there that said that Duel Links is now on.
It is, but I'm mainly playing replays right now as we talk. Sorry, I'm really thirsty.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing a duel.
Well, you guys do. I'll join in a little bit. I'm playing.
As per usual. Before we end up doing this, do we have like any closing comments on the chapter? Havoc, you go first since
I don't have.
You're kind of the new one here and getting.
Have too much to say. Story, I get very little about the story. I know some details. I like the basic premise of the story. The first few chapters were phenomenal. In fact, I kind of teared up when Deku got his powers. It made me really happy. Other than that, the world building was good. Most everything that I can see was great. But I could for all or one for all, and they kind of they destroyed their baseline, so they got into this horse shit. I don't know where they're going with it, so I am kind of like, I don't know what to think, other than to say that it's bad writing. But I think that's unfair to write it off that way, because the first half of the series was phenomenal. So those are kind of my comments. I just think the last set of chapters is kind of the story's gone it's kind of developed a mind of its own, and the story has more control over the writer, as when it should be the other way around.
All right. Next, you go next.
Well, my sum up of the whole series, or just, so sum up of the last.
Just closing remarks.
Yeah, closing remarks for the last chapter. We will determine where we have to just honestly wait and see where it goes, because right now there is nothing that will tell us what like. You could see it during his fight, and sadly, the number 3 is out of commission. So we'll see. We'll see, guys. We'll see.
So my closing statements on this is, all right. So I know it seems like we've been shitting on the series for a minute because we're really concerned, but it's all out of love here. We're not shitting on the series to say that it's bad. It's just that we're kind of concerned that maybe the story might be going a little bit too fast for its own good. Because don't get me wrong, I like the hypeness. I love the epicness. I love that Shigaraki is going out there pawning moves. I love that his development, the way how he is as a character, the way how he's fighting. It's just that I think it's a little bit too soon, only because the hero so they can contend with the villain. So, okay, who's gonna win? Because we can easily see that Shigaraki and the villains, they clearly have the upper hand. Absolutely have the upper hand right now. The heroes, like a thread, and that thread is named Eraserhead. Because I can tell you right now, he dead. Epicness of the arc here.
Oh, it's still in fuck when the heroes have a Wonder Weiss. Like,
no
they
idea.
Wonder Weiss in the story to shut off Yamamoto's Bankai, because Yamamoto is the strongest character in the series, and Aizen would get washed by Yamamoto's Bankai, and that was what the enemies did to stop.
Oh yeah.
So in other words,
they turned Aizen into like pseudo god. I remember now.
Now, Wonder Weiss are. I'm saying that this nerf Shigaraki before Shigaraki ends the series.
So again, I hope they're voting the best this year. I'm gonna believe in Hirokoshi's work. I'm hoping that this is to do some. And that's really all I have to say. We just gotta wait and see, and just hope for the best. So Hero Academia discussion.
Yeah. I'm sorry I wasn't as useful in this. I wish I kind of got on board with the story, so I could have spoken intelligently. You
gotta tell. Let's see how many people watched. Like, one person. Now it says 2 views. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll upload this on YouTube. Maybe that'll get better reception. But, so how do you guys feel about the discussion?
I think it's fun. I liked it. It was fun.
It was, I was fun. It was just hard for me to say anything that was remotely meaningful. But
all right, so I have an idea. The thing I want you to do. I want you to watch the entirety of season 1 of ReZero.
I can
ReZero, yeah. Watch. Yeah, it's not long. Like, what is it? It's like, what is it? ReZero, like 12 episodes right now, right?
Yeah. So, never came out.
Yeah, it's not out. It's come. Watch all of it. It's just like 12 episodes. It shouldn't take you. I'm thinking we should do a discussion on. I don't know. I'll let you watch it. Tell me how you feel about it, because Nux and I love this. Actually, if you like it too, maybe we might do some discussion on that. A weekly discussion on that. So up to you.
What's the basic premise of ReZero?
Isekai.
It sounds really Japanese, like, this is my life now. Okay then.
Well, that's what happens, and then you just realize that like this kid's always been a psychopath because that's just what he becomes playing the game. I don't know. You should like it.
I might. I don't know if I will.
But ReZero is pretty much. Is that like ReZero's No Game No Life, or is that a different?
No. No Game No Life is something else completely different. It's a different series.
But like ReZero, I thought like had the brother and the sister or some shit like that, and they were like super. One was super smart, and
that's No Game No Life.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll give it a shot. As long as it's not as bad as Sword Art Online.
Oh hell no! Don't you ever disrespect ReZero like that in your life. It is nothing like that. There's actually tragedy.
That shit made me hate. That shit made me hate isekai anime.
Well, I mean, that you shouldn't even really think about it. It's not. It's its own thing.
That was the face of isekai anime for at least 5 years.
I know. It's just that it's its own thing.
It was so bad that we just need to forget it ever happened.
Pretty much.
Wish it out of existence.
I'm not even gonna say I said forget it ever happened. It was definitely important. And I think the isekai genre learned from it. It's just that
it's only good. it only was good because its selling point was, imagine if you're stuck in a video game but it's real life. Like that's been every nerd's fantasy. Like even we have thought about that at some point in our lives. Let's not lie to ourselves.
No, I thought about it.
They've had the perfect premise. They've had the perfect premise. Is that the writer, Reki Kawahara, didn't know how to write. Simple as that.
Well, I mean, it was written practically when he was 15. You cut him some slack.
Okay,
yo, he said cut a series with a rapist elf king, yo.
No. I will not cut him some slack, only because it took some other people to take his series and write SAO Alternative, which was better than the actual series, by different writers. So no, I will not cut him some slack.
Okay.
No, I will not. When people take your work and are able to make a better story than you do, that's a problem. I'm sorry, that's a problem. That is a problem.
The first season with Aincrad, I would have given it a D-, but because they had the rapist elf king, that kind of ruined everything.
I hate to tell you something there, Havoc. I hate to bring this up to you here, but that's not how the series ended. The series kept going after that.
No, I know they did the gun shit. They did the gun shit with the coffin seller motherfucker. I know
and
exactly
what you're going still.
Wait a minute. They wrote more after that?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
What happened after that?
The next one is called SAO Acceleration, I believe it's called. I didn't watch it. I only have ever seen people do video essays of it saying how bad the writing is, but basically it's another video game world, except Kirito has no memories and he ends up befriending an AI, and there you go. The rest is
what?
The rest is sister.
What?
Yeah.
Pretty much, you don't watch it for the plot. You watch it to turn your brain off and then maybe find some good fights. Pretty much, honestly, I like the Gun Gale Online the best because I thought the cat girl was the main character.
And another thing. They actually have a movie. They actually have an SAO movie, which is probably one of the worst things ever.
Actually, better than the first season in my point of view. Just going from the fights, not the story.
Yeah, I'm talking about the story. The story is crap because they try to introduce a rival character to Kirito, which, don't get me wrong, it was very much needed. Just too little, too late.
You guys need to watch the channel. Oh, sorry, finish.
No, go ahead.
You guys need to watch the DX channel and listen to his anime I fucking hate playlists.
By the way, I put the ID in the Discord chat, so I don't know. Because you're the one asking for it the longest.
I want to review School Days.
No.
I don't think I watched that. I'll be honest with you.
I have.
Wait, no. Wait. What is it? Is that the one where? No, explain the plot to me. I forgot it.
Basically, the guy ends up fucking two girls, and one of them tries to kill him. Both, actually.
I don't think I watched it.
It's literally Mary Fuck Kill personified.
Yes,
it is. It became a real story. But
Nux, it's so, to put it in perspective, it's so bad that the last episode couldn't be aired in Japanese television because an actual stabbing happened in a school setting. They couldn't show it because of that. That's how bad it was.
Have you guys? I'm serious. I gotta get out of the room. We should review that series. We really should work on reviewing that series because that shit would be fucking funny.
I can't promise you because I never watched it.
It's 13 episodes.
To be honest,
sure.
I'm tempted
I don't know if I want to watch it, if I'm gonna be honest. That reminds me of that the Jaden Smith anime that I was just like, I'm not watching that.
It's worse.
Did you listen to our review of Neo Nokio?
I didn't watch it. I didn't listen to the review. I don't want to hear. I tried watching the first episode, but could not get through it, and I said, I am done. I am.
Y'all are pussies. Y'all are pussies, because I actually watched the entire season 1. Y'all are pussies.
How about, wait, what are you talking? Hey, Leon, go fuck yourself, because I watched it with you. We watched it together.
Wait, we did?
Yes, you and I watched it together.
See, this is you purging it from your memory. That's why you don't even remember.
No, I remember the episodes. I don't remember him being there. I remember he was drunk at one point, if I'm being honest.
Because, Leon, you can't watch something like that and be sober and be a serious anime fan. You can't do that to yourself.
Hi, I did that. I did that. Completely sober. And granted, while I did have a scathing review on what that shit was, I managed to do it. Y'all are bitches. Y'all are bitches.
And you know what pisses me off is that he was able to put more on that brand name, and he still gets notoriety from that show. And that's what makes me upset, is that he took a shit on a cracker and sold it as anime. I'm not even kidding. It was that bad. Toblerone was the selling point. He literally had to use Toblerone to advertise to get revenue to fucking put that shit up. The giant Toblerone, what was with that fucking joke?
Chocolate being a giant chocolate being a euphemism for a BBC.
Okay, well that shit wasn't funny.
You asked, I gave you an answer. I didn't say it would be the right answer.
I'm sorry, that was the worst show I've ever watched in my entire life. I think that Mr. Pickles on Adult Swim has more complexity than that fucking plot.
There was no complexity in that plot. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, and Mr. Pickles is literally just a psychotic dog watching people fucking killing them.
Oh man, that reminds me. Let's change the subject. I'm remembering dog.
I
don't even want to know. I don't want to know where your head. I've seen it. I know what you're talking about. I don't even want to know where Nux's head is at.
Do you remember that manga?
What manga?
What? You got to be specific. Oh yeah.
I mean, I remember. You're the one who showed it to me.
Wait. Didn't I show that to you? Didn't I show it? I think, because I showed it to you. I showed it to Jarrell. I could have sworn I think I showed it to Marquise as well. But I could have sworn I showed it to you, Havoc.
What's the manga? Just run it by me again.
I actually can't say the name, so I'm going to put it in the Discord chat. Just
why can't you say the name? It's that bad, isn't it?
I'm not joking. That's the actual name. That's the actual name. That's the actual name.
What? Say it, honey. Say what's on your mind.
I told you how many times I want you call. I just say, can you just slow down with your voice?
15309.
And the only
but
that's Black created that I recommend on Netflix is Ken and Busters, because that's actually good.
I followed the creator on Twitter for quite a while, so I actually will give that a shot. But yeah, that's the actual name of the manga, Havoc. Actually, I'm about to find it again. I'm about to send you the link to it so you can read the first chapter on stream to get your legitimate reaction, because I'm actually kind of curious to see how you'd react. Not gonna lie. By the way, we're not being a nuisance because I heard your wife was talking to you. We're not being an issue or anything, right? Everything's good?
No, she just wants to sleep right now, but she doesn't want me to leave the room. But I'm trying. I'm on a stream, so it's like...
That's... Oh, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Oh well.
Yeah, this is why I couldn't do the married life.
I think you could. It would just take time.
Mister, you should experience love for the first time in your life. And I'm just like, that's disgusting. By the way, I sent you the link, Havoc. I want you to actually, well, maybe don't read it because if your wife is trying to sleep, because I can tell you right now, you're going to laugh. You're going to laugh. You're going to laugh. I'm telling you right now. Oh, it updated 16 days ago. Oh, wow.
Sorry. Honey, stop getting pissed at me for laughing. Leon showed me this ridiculous bullshit.
I told you don't read it with your wife trying to sleep. I told you not to read it. I actually told you not to. Okay, now I'm gonna feel bad because now your wife is gonna bitch you out and I'm gonna feel bad about it. God damn it.
Alright. I just want you to know that I'm crying. I'm literally crying from how hard I'm laughing.
Told you. Shit's funny.
It looks like a Deadpool adaptation.
Pretty. And believe it or not, that's the updated art. It used to be a web comic.
Yo, who wrote? I read the description. I can't handle myself. I read the description. I can't handle it. Okay, I can't do this. I can't do this.
I told you to read it now. Oh my.
I can't do this.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm pretty sure the people that are watching us think we're all stupid because they have no idea what we're talking about. Oh my gosh.
This is like the Boondocks meets Deadpool.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
I'm sorry, honey. I couldn't contain my laughter because of what the thing that Leon sent me. I can't believe some of the things that people actually write and publish.
Unsurprisingly, a black guy made that, but
It doesn't surprise me that a black guy made that at all.
Only come out of the mind of the black.
Unfortunately. By the way, Nux, are you good to stay up this late? Don't you gotta, sleep because you have work? You're a functioning member of society?
I mean, yeah, but
Oh. Okay, it's going now. And I don't think I could read that because there'll be times when I'm just like in bed and then I'll just think of that comic book and just start laughing.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Nux was in this total state of disbelief when I said that to him. He was in a total state.
more like I couldn't understand how it was real.
Exactly.
What
he
did
was looking
Jarrell
at
have to
me.
say about it?
He was bust out laughing. As a matter of fact, he knew about the series before I even sent them. He's like, dude, you know there's a webcomic version. I was like, what? I was like, what? There's a webcomic.
So you're telling me that thing actually made it? Like that thing sold? Like people pay money to read that?
I don't know if it's being sold, but there's a Twitter. The link I showed you. There's a Twitter link to I think both the creator and the author and the artist. So I think he just pays the artist to touch up it. But I think it's a webcomic. I don't know if it's being paid. If they're being paid for it. If they are, I'm definitely should become a writer. Because if that shit can get published and make money, I don't see why I can't.
He was born from the rape of a stray dog. And then he's going to go rape the person that raped his dog mother. Okay.
Yep, he's gonna find his dad and rape him.
You know, this is on stream, right? I thought for everyone.
We didn't. First off, the discussion's over. So this is just us chilling now.
You should probably turn stream off then, but okay.
Why not?
I mean, it's your content. I don't know. I thought you wanted subscribers, but
Okay. First off, we need to be affiliates or partners to get subscribers. That's number one. Number two, we need followers. Number three, actually, I might cut off the stream because I made the room, nobody showed up. So I'm probably going to end this. Wait, you
Okay,
good?
that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. No, I'm gonna stay with my wife now and prepare for my next class probably.
Okay, so are we all agree with just ending the stream right here then?
Yeah.
Alright, so okay, anybody that's happened to be watching here, all of one viewer, but hey, feel free to follow, hit a follow on our Twitch. We greatly appreciate it. If by some chance I manage to put this on YouTube, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. We'd love that. Don't rape your dad. Alright, folks, take care.